In the words of my man E, the chosen one. Let's talk about it. From the 90 to the 53 breakdown. Any day I get home, man, I listen to the Shakedown. They said the real is the fake now. And baby, innings uncensored, so you know they gotta hate now. Blow, that's only one or more shots. LRP, Freezy, even Nacho in the box. Linebackers matter at Shakes and J-Rock. End of an era, they shitted on Tom Cough. Steve from DC, called Shane Ben Vereen. Charlie Goldham, Case and Jerry Reese. D-Town Day, the challenge, what he say? You got a real debate, call up on Wednesdays. But stick to the topic, you call up on Tuesdays. You're all in the nine, call up on Mondays. Please make a splash, free agency Thursdays. Only write our style for free on Friday, huh? What you know about the Shakedown? Get your news from the 90 to the 53 breakdown. What you know about the Shakedown? Get your news from the 90 to the 53 breakdown. What you know about the Shakedown? Get your news from the 90 to the 53 breakdown, huh?
Yeah. What's going on, Big Blue Nation? Giants fans all around the world. Shakedown Sports Podcast on the Shakedown Media Network on your YouTube. We are back again, and in this guest week, y'all. Welcome. Tell a friend, send a kite. Let everybody know we out here. We in the building, and we got the legendary John Schmeelk from Giants.com. He's the one that's be in the building. He's the one that you're seeing all on the YouTube, checking out all kinds of stuff about the Giants. And he is here talking with us today. Continuing on this guest week, we are so proud to have him. We got the brothers in the building, J-Rock, Shakes, E, the chosen one, popped in. What's going on, people? Y'all know how we do. Make sure you wipe your feet. It's going to be a fun one. And we'll get to things early and often. J-Rock on the ones and twos, got the melodies going. And as we proceed to give you what you need, welcome, everybody. Starting with the crew, and then we'll bring in John, J-Rock, Shakes, E. How's it going, brothers?
Chilling, man. Good, man. Getting over this sickness, man, but I feel great, man. Ready to get into this Giants talk.
Yes, sir. Glad to have you back in the good health. Shakes Montana. What's up, brother?
Hey, man, I'm just excited to talk to my good friend, John. It's been a while.
Yes, sir. It has. E, the chosen one. See you.
Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody? John, what's up, brother? I tried to make it backstage, man, so we could talk some Knicks. But, we got you here for the Giants, so it's all good, man. It's great to see you. Thank you for joining us today, man. And I can't wait to get at it.
All right, let's do it, boys. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, we got some Knick questions, too. And I have some Knick concerns as the draft is going on tonight. Anyway, so definitely a good time to talk to John. And without further ado, John Schmeelk, Giants.com. Y'all know him well. You know, he's been covering the team for many years. Been a good friend of us, and we've been good fans of him. So welcome. Thank you for your time, man. Tell us how you doing. Welcome to the show.
What's up, boys? It's the off season. This is kind of the slow time. No more players building. About to head off on a few weeks of vacation, but I'm always happy to talk to you with my guys before we say goodbye.
Absolutely. We had your brother in arms on the show yesterday, and Paul Dottino spent some time with us as well. So we actually going to take a same angle, but different. You know what I mean? Shouts out the same difference. Shouts out to Black Freeze and the rest of the crew. But we spoke to him at length, in depth about all things Giants. And we all know how Paul can go. And salute to him. But we start things off with how, before we get into everything, setting the foundation, what ratio can you give me on how often you guys differ when it comes to the Giants?
It's a good question, actually. I would say probably a third, 35%, or 40%, because both of us watch. We both see everything. And I think we do view the game a little bit differently, too. So that's how our opinion is a little bit different. He's a little bit more old school, more defensive-oriented, run game-oriented. Both of us do think you win up front first. That's something that we do share in common, where I think that is important. I'm probably more into the passing game and big playmakers and wide receivers than he is. But I think Paul probably also errs probably a little bit more on the positivity side than I do. Then again, he errs more on the positivity side as pretty much anybody. But yeah, I mean, I would say we're probably on the same page, like 2/3 of the time, give or take.
Okay, cool. So that's going to kind of be the precedent, because there's a lot of questions asked yesterday. We probably don't want to rehash, or we're going to probably rehash some of the same questions, but from a different perspective, from John's perspective. You know what I mean? And how you see things based off of what we all seen. So without further ado, I'll give it up to my brothers. They'll hit you up first.
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. As far as Brian Davis, is it a good or bad thing that he's calling the offensive plays?
I don't think we know the answer to that yet. I think we have to see how it goes, right? I mean, I think it's better that he's doing this in year 3 when he already has some head coaching experience. I would not have liked if he did it in year 1 when he was trying to figure out how to be a head coach and then taking that on his plate as well. It's always been a collaborative effort during the week, all those guys getting together to put the game plan together. And I think we all know Brian Dable is a good play call. So I get it. I think he has the pieces on offense now, and, third year for a head coach, it's an important year. I think he wants to make sure that this exactly how he wants it to go, assuming he does in fact call the plays. That has not been decided yet, but if he does in fact end up that way, I think he just wants to make sure that this offense is called and run exactly the way he wants. Given the importance of it being in his 3rd year, you got to make a decision on Daniel after the year, and this is really kind of a fulcrum point year where the team go in a lot of different directions depending on how the year goes.
Okay.
Well, all right, John. I don't hold no punches, but right. But I'm gonna just start off with, what's your impression so far of Malik Neighbors?
I mean, the kid's dynamite. I mean, he's everything you see on tape, you see in person. He's quick, he's fast, he's athletic, and I don't even think we have a feel yet because we haven't seen him try to evade tackles and break tackles yet, which is one of his great skills, being a run after the catch guy. So I think once we see him in preseason games and get him in pads and guys are actually trying to tackle him, I think we're going to see a lot of his skill set really come out more so than we've seen already. But look, he's fast, he's quick, he's athletic. From what we can tell, he's catching on to the offense pretty quick. So I have no opinion change from what I saw from him on tape when the Giants drafted him.
Nice.
And by the way, I should add too, he seems like a pretty good kid. I had a chance to talk to him probably for like 8 minutes, and that interview is going to go up on the website and YouTube on Friday, along with a bunch of the other wide receivers. And he really does seem like a down-to-earth, blue-collar kid too, which you like, because as you guys know, wide receivers sometimes can get off the reservation a little bit sometimes.
Really?
So can I pick?
That's what we doing?
Real quick.
What?
Let me piggyback off that real quick, though, John, because there's something that we was talking about before the draft, and I want to know your opinion. So, as you know now, you got to see both of these guys coming to the building that I'm about to speak of from LSU, Odell Beckham Jr. and Malik Neighbors. So, can you kind of give the people kind of some of the differences of your impressions of both of them when they came into the building?
Yeah, I mean, I think Malik's journey to the NFL is a little bit different than Odell's, right? He went to the same high school that Eli Manning did, right? He was kind of destined to be a star. Malik kind of had to work his way up. He made his mark playing 7-on-7 before he even was a big-time high school football star. So, I don't think he was as highly rated a recruit going to LSU. I'd have to double-check that. I'm not positive what their technical stars was, depending on the recruiting service. But, but both guys are dynamic. And remember, Odell's catch play, which everyone remembers, unbelievable play. And Odell is one of maybe the most talented football player I've been around in my time with the Giants. Unbelievably talented. I really think that catch made everything come too soon for him, and I think it overwhelmed him a little bit in a lot of ways. But when he came in the building, I mean, I didn't get any sense. I was with him when he got drafted. I was with him backstage. We interviewed him that night. We interviewed him when he got there. You never got the sense that that any of the stuff that happened was going to happen, to be totally honest with you. So I wouldn't take much out of what you see from a guy, this early. I think to see how his career goes, see how he handles it. Being a pro is different than being a college guy. But I do think their journeys were a little bit different where, Malik was probably rags to riches is I think the wrong term, but a guy that kind of had to fight his way up a little bit more than Odell did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I definitely get it. Definitely get it. Thank you, John.
Go ahead, E.
You already know, man. So I'll keep it offense, John. We're talking about the wide receivers, and what they bring to the table. This year, I would like to get your opinion on the wide receivers across the board, right? How do you feel about the wide receiving group, the wide receiving competition? And we're talking about Malik Neighbors, so I really would like to know, how much do you think he improves Daniel Jones? Because he's never had a number one.
I think he improves all the quarterbacks. I was talking to Drew Lock, and this interview's up there. I did all three quarterbacks, Daniel, Tommy, and Drew. And this is on Giants.com also. And I was talking to Drew Lock, and he just sat there and talked about, look, even when he's covered, he's kind of open, right? And, his quote was, that's a guy you pray the opponent man. You know that they can't cover him man on man, and that's going to be the guy you go to with the football in those situations. And I talked to Daniel about it too, and I said, what's the value in having the guy that you can trust to make a play? And I think we saw this when Golden Tate was here, right? He threw a lot of those deep balls to Golden Tate when, a lot of those slot fades when he wasn't that open, but he trusted Golden Tate to go up there and get the ball. And a lot of times, frankly, he did. And I think when you have a guy like Neighbors that you can trust to get the football, it allows you to be more aggressive down the field. We all talk about the offensive line, how that's limited the offense, and that's absolutely true. But I think the other part of it, too, you go back, guys, over the last 4 years, Darius Slayton is a solid NFL wide receiver. But otherwise, is there a team that's had a worse set of wide receivers than the Giants over the past 4 years, except for maybe the Patriots?
No.
Between all the injuries and everything, if Sterling stayed healthy, it's a different story. If Wandell was healthy, maybe it's a different story. But, he really hasn't had anybody that he can trust. If you throw it to a guy, he's going to go up and get it. And I do think that gives a quarterback some pause, and it has to dial down the aggressiveness a little bit when, A, you can't trust your line to protect you, and then B, you also don't have that wide receiver you trust can just win one-on-one every time like Drew Lock believes Malik Neighbors is going to be able to do.
Thank you.
And just to piggyback off of that, Darius Slayton, we recently discussed at length his contract, negotiations and the incentives, what he would need to produce in order to receive these incentives. And it got us to talking with all the weaponry that we have now, and Evan Neal being question mark. I wouldn't say that, the jury's out on him or anything like that, but how feasible is he able to get those numbers when so many other people need to eat?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm curious how they kind of spread the wealth a little bit. My guess is that Neighbors and Wandell will probably lead, if everyone's healthy, obviously. I think those guys will probably generally be the snap leaders at wide receiver, and then I think Slayton and Hyatt will play a ton. I think, Neighbors will probably be above 80, 90%. Wandell maybe around 80% of the snaps, and those other two guys will be around 60, something like that. And I think I'd be surprised if the Giants weren't in 11 personnel with three wide receivers like 80% of the time. They just don't have the tight ends to play 12. They don't have a fullback on the roster. So I think you're going to see 11 personnel a lot, and those four guys, will take 300 and divide it by 4. You could theoretically have 4 guys play 75% of the snaps, right? So I think you'll get plenty of snaps from those guys, and I think Slayton's going to wind up somewhere probably around 50 to 60 catches, 700, 800 yards, something like that, if he stays healthy. And I think he's a good, reliable wide receiver going forward. We'll have to see. If you have 3 guys on rookie contracts and Robinson, Hyatt, and Neighbors that you think are good enough to be starters for you, I'm not sure you then pay a guy like Slayton. Even if you like him and you think he's a great player, that's a decision you have to make after the year.
Yeah, it's a lot to go around. And
may I piggyback off that question real quick, LRP?
Yeah,
so just looking at the incentives and the numbers, right, John? If I could remember correctly, he has to have
honestly,
Yeah,
I don't
he
know
has to have 70 receptions, 1,000 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Is that a mark you actually think is attainable? Just in your opinion.
I mean, I don't have numbers in front of me. He's never attained any of those numbers, has he?
Right. That's why I asked you.
So I would be surprised if that happened this year.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. And just carrying over with Evan Neal, what have you heard about Evan Neal and his progression?
Yeah, sadly, guys, he didn't do much in the spring. Like, I was looking forward to seeing him, but he was still coming back from the ankle. That offseason ankle surgery really messed him up, man. Just hasn't been able to do much. So, from what I understand, he's learning the system well from the new offensive line coach. He's good in the classroom, but he really didn't take one, team, couple, but not many live snaps in the spring where even no contact, they're going full speed against an opponent. So, I don't have much for you on him, to be honest with you. I think training camp is going to be what people, once the pads go on, which probably won't happen until the very end of July, maybe like July 30th, something like that, July 29th. I don't think we're going to have much of an idea of what he can do until we start seeing him in one-on-ones against Burns, against Thibodeau, that we could practice the Lions, the preseason games, and then they'll have to make the decision, right? Is he playing well enough to leave him at a right tackle? Do you slide Illuminor out there, move Neal inside? That's when those decisions are going to have to start being made.
Yeah. And last thing, and I'm going to throw it back to J-Rock. So I'm a fan, right? Before the new Evan Neal news, because beginning, I didn't know that he had a bad ankle and it was that bad. And I didn't know that we weren't going to see him in the spring ball or spring camp. So prior to that, I was very high based off of Carmen Pasillo, based off of, JSM's second year. We got free agency in Luminor and John Runyon. I was feeling good about this line. Like, yeah, we might actually be able to do some things. That one common piece of Evan Neal not being able to get on the field this spring, or just, the question marks that we still have looming. As a fan, what is the one thing that you saw during spring ball that could potentially give me a pleasant surprise?
I feel very confident that Carmen Brasillo is going to coach these guys up, put them in a position to succeed, have a good plan, have good protection rules, have them playing the right technique, and have them playing together. I watched him teach those guys a lot. And look, Neal missing the spring, it stinks because it's reps for him, which is what you want. But, there's no pads, they're not blocking. You can't play line play anyway. So it's not like the end of the world. You should be panicked about it. But I think Carmen Brasillo is going to have these guys ready mentally and physically. And you hope that Neal can, and I expect him to be, on the field day one in training camp and, catch on to this system. And hopefully he can do what he needs to do within the structure that Brasillo sets out for them and do well enough a right tackle to stick out there. But that's why bringing Illuminor on was so important. And I think we went through, aside from DJ and Andrew Thomas, the guys on offense you can least afford to lose. And my guy was Jermaine Illuminor because he gives you a backstop at right tackle, or he's one of your starting guards. So to me, he's extremely valuable because we know he's fine at right tackle. He was a starter for the Raiders last year. He did a fine job. And with Brasillo here, he knows how to use him. So I think he's a really important backstop at that position in case Evan Neal doesn't get up to speed and isn't ready to go, though I do expect that he will be.
Cool. Okay. Thanks, John. That was dope. Go ahead, Jay. All
right. I saw the interview you did with Tyler Nubin's head coach and position coach in Minnesota. It was a good interview. Know what you know about Tyler Nubin, what you got from his coaches and what you've seen in OTAs and minicamp. Do you think he'll be season opening starter, or will he eventually be the starter?
This has nothing to do with what I saw from him on the field, because I do think it's hard to judge safety play in practice, right? I think what game situations are more important for safety play, same with linebackers. But based on what I know about him and how highly the Giants think of him, and this is nothing against Dane Belton, who I think is a solid player, I would be surprised if Tyler Nubin is not starting at safety in week 1.
Okay.
I think mentally he's so sharp and he catches on to things so quickly, I think he'll be ready to go.
Nice.
Yeah. I like Tyler Nubin a lot. I watched they did sort of like a backstage draft day filming of him with his family, and I got drafted. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, good family, good kid, man.
Yeah. Go ahead, Shakes. It might be in the background. I thought I heard him out there wrestling around some Skittles or something.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah, brother.
So it's a two-part question here from me. And first off is I want to know, like, what do you think, or what have you seen so far to give you an indication of what Shane Bowen wants to do defensively? And also, like, who is your lookout player for in camp this year that you're going into camp and saying, look out for that player?
Yeah, good question. Look, I think Shane Bowen's going to try to get home with 4 guys in the pass rush, try to play 2 safeties deep, stop the run with your front 6 or 7, play more zone, defensive backs, eyes on the quarterback, try to make plays on the ball. It's not a passive, laid back, keep the ball in front of you zone defense. There's a lot of zone match in there, which is kind of man principles in zone defense where, you're really trying to make plays on the ball. But I think it's, get home with 4, eyes on the quarterback, not nearly as much man or blitzing as you had on the Wink Martindale. And that's what the defense is going to look like, with a lot of upfield, trying to get upfield and trying to penetrate, being aggressive up front. Watch out player in camp. It's a good question. I have trouble with these because, I think about these guys so much. I don't really know who qualifies as kind of one of those guys. I would probably say Andrew Phillips, the 3rd round rookie, and that might be too obvious. If it is, I apologize. But, he's a guy that I think if he plays well enough, he can grab that slot corner spot. But I think he's going to have to earn it. You don't just hand those spots to rookies, and it's a very difficult spot to play. So I would say Phillips in terms of a guy that has a chance to grab meaningful playing time. And then I would say the tight end position, right? I think Daniel Bellinger is probably going to be the starter because he's a good blocker. He can do a little bit of everything. But then does either Lawrence Cager or Theo Johnson grab maybe some of the 3rd down receiving work at the position? I think people are rightfully impressed with Theo Johnson's profile, but tight end is maybe the toughest position along with linebacker to come in, and quarterback to come into the NFL and succeed right away. There's just so much involved. You got to do so many different things, blocking, receiving, all that sort of stuff, run game, that it's hard for guys to be good right away. So how about Lawrence Cager? I think Brian Dable was very effusive of his praise of him during minicamp. Maybe he can, earn a receiving role as someone that can get down the field. And then Tyrone Tracy is the kick returner. I think he has a lot of potential to be the kick returner on this team and be really good at it. And if he can prove to the coaching staff that he can do pass pro, and he did do a good job of that at Purdue. His coaches, when I talked to them, were effusive in their praise of him in pass pro. But I could see him getting a sizable role in passing situations on 3rd down, too, and maybe splitting some time with Devin Singletary. So those are 3 names for you.
None of those names were obvious neither. There are names that we really haven't heard too much about, but we know a lot about them. So glad that you mentioned those names, especially like Andrew Phillips, because that's a position that we were like, man, there were so many other guys there that could have been had. And for you to go Andrew Phillips, obviously you must like him. So we need to see how much and why you like him so much as far as the Giants organization.
Well, look, I think the Giants targeted him. I wasn't a great cornerback class on day 2, and I think they believed in the kid, and they knew they had a need in the slot. I mean, this is no mystery. They don't have a lot of guys in there. They just signed Trey Herndon, the veteran, so he's kind of the backstop there. But I think they would love if Andrew Phillips played well enough to earn that job. And what I'm looking forward to are those joint practices against the Lions. You know who lines up in the slot all the time, right? Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is in the slot all the time for Detroit. Maybe you can get some snaps against him in the slot in those joint practices, see what he can do a little bit.
Yeah, he's going to get that work.
Absolutely. Taking the time out real quick to say what's up to the fans, supporters, people tuning in. Bayou Billy, Mosley, Eda Rondo in the building. Hey, Sarah in the building. J Jan 300. Salute to the Ghost, Rent Squad, Shake Squad, Shakedown family, Quentin. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Unpopular Opinion Sports, NYG22.
YG.
You know what I mean? Big Pat Sports in the building as well. Salute. And appreciate everybody tuning in on this episode. And keep on tuning in. I think it's on you, E. Go ahead, bro.
Indeed, it ain't. Yo, John. So I'll keep it flowing with the secondary. Right now, going into the season with this secondary, one, it's a two-part question. Do you have any concerns right now when it comes to our secondary?
I think that's my biggest concern. If you look at position groups on the team, you have Jason Pinnock, who's kind of proven at safety, and you like what you saw out of Deonte Banks in his first year. He was not dominant by any means, but I think you saw the skill set. I'm a very good player, but I mean, Cordell Flott, I'm sure Paul Dottino sung his praises like a madman when you talk to him.
He sure did.
Paul loves him some Cordell Flott, man. Let me tell you. But he hasn't shown it yet, and he needs to show me that he can play that position at a high level. I already talked about the guys in the slot, right? Newman's a rookie. I like him, but he's still a rookie. So if there's a potential Achilles heel of this defense, it's the secondary, because you're betting on a lot of guys that haven't shown they can do it yet at a high level. You like the skill sets. You hope they can. They just haven't shown it yet. So, yeah, I have concerns. Especially when you look at the division the Giants are. We talked about how the Giants receiving core is as good as it's been in a while. They probably still have like the fourth best receiving core in the division. That's how good the Cowboys, the Eagles, and Washington are at receiver. So, this is not going to be easy. And you got Justin Jefferson in week 1, right? You got Amari Cooper rolling down in week 3, right? You got some pretty good players. Terry McLaurin in week 2. There is no shortage of good wide receivers in the NFL. So, yeah, secondary, if I was to pinpoint besides the offensive line, because, whatever, we've been trying to fix that for 10 years. If I had to pinpoint one other concern, it would be the secondary.
Okay, and the second part to my question is, Paul didn't give me an answer, which is okay, but he definitely gave me some sort of kind of answer. I know you're the great John Schmeelk, so you're going to answer me. Out of all the UDFAs, who has caught your attention so far?
I got to be honest with you guys, and this is nothing against the guys that are here, but this, in general, around the league, was a weak-ass UDFA class. You had so many guys go back to school in the COVID year, and, with the NILs, staying back for money.
Yep.
It was one of the shallower draft classes we've seen in a very long time. So I think guys that were getting drafted in the 6th and 7th round in a normal year, those guys would have been UDFAs, right? I would say the guy that I think has the most potential is the offensive tackle, Marcellus Johnson. He was a good player. Oh, gosh, was it Eastern or Western Michigan? One of those small Michigan schools before he went to Missouri, and then they changed his position and everything like that. I don't think he's a guy that's going to help you right away. That's going to be probably a year or two of development. But I think he has the size and the physical skills to be a swing tackle in the NFL. So of all the UDFAs, that's the guy I would keep an eye on in terms of a guy that in the future can maybe give you something in offensive tackle.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Go ahead, J-Rock. We got a question from the chat.
We got a couple questions from the chat, Schmeelk. They're both about the tight end, so I'll give them both to you, and then you can answer them how you want. The first one is from Unpopular Opinion Sports. He asks, any chance they use Bellinger in a fullback type role this year? And the second one is from Ghost Dog Blue. How many tight ends do you think they go into the season with?
Good questions. Yes, I believe they would use Bellinger as a fullback. In fact, I think Bellinger actually blocked better out of the fullback spot last year than at the tight end spot. I think he was pretty good as a lead blocker, and they ran a couple plays there where they kind of used him as a lead blocker and play action. They gave him a bit of a running start in some routes, which actually worked. I thought it was some pretty clever play design. So yes to that. How many tight ends do they keep? Here's the problem, right? You have to keep Theo Johnson. Right, you can't obviously. Yeah, he's on. Bellinger's on.
Right.
So then, do you need then a true blocking tight end and a guy that can be a threat as a wide receiver? So the question is, can Theo Johnson do enough early where he can be the receiving threat at tight end, and you don't need to keep a cager to be the receiving guy? But I do think a Jack Stoll or Chris Manhertz, one of those two guys will be on the roster as a blocking tight end. So I would probably say 4, but if Theo Johnson is good enough, fast enough, you might be able to only keep 3.
Okay. I would think like one of those blocking, and I'm sorry if I'm cutting you off, LP, but I would think that one of those blocking tight ends would be perfect to put them down as the H-back, fullback type of guy. And Stoll.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know how much Shake, Stoll, and Manhertz played in the backfield as a fullback. I'll have to check that. I'm not sure how much they've done that in the past.
I hope to see them packages in preseason.
Yeah, me too.
Now I know we got you for a couple more minutes, John, but
I can go to 9:15 if you need me.
Cool. Question from Big Pet Sports. Before I have a word association game for you, but we'll ask this question first. Who do you think plays opposite of Dexter Lawrence this year?
That's another big question. I think the 3 technique is something that I'm watching in camp. You know, they don't have that traditional get upfield, undersized defensive tackle that would be your typical 3 technique. Ryder Anderson is the guy that fits that body type. And I think he has a chance, especially on third down, to kind of get in there and rush the passer. Nacho's the veteran. You know, they brought in Jordan Phillips, who's, you know, has had success, pardon me, a defensive tackle in his time in the league. He has had some sack production in a couple of years too. So maybe there, but I do think 3 technique is one of those spots where that is going to be a wide open competition. And I think there's going to be heavy rotation there, right? You might have one guy in early downs, different guys in different packages on third down. Hell, you might even see them move Thibodeau or Ojulari or Burns into the 3 technique and kind of like their new NASCAR package if all the guys are healthy to get all 3 of those guys and Dexter on the field on, you know, third and long and third and passing situation. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they structure that and who they use in what situations at 3 technique. I think that's a really good question.
Okay. Absolutely. Was there any other question? It's E?
No, I had a quick.
It's on LRP.
I had a quick word association game for real quick. I'm going to name 8 guys, John, right. And you just give me one word that describes them best, or based off of what you've seen. So starting with Malik Neighbors,
explosive.
Jalen Hyatt,
fast.
Brian Burns,
athlete.
Deontay Banks,
confidence.
Bobby Okereke,
leader or smart. That works for him too.
Nice. Kayvon Thibodeau,
brash.
Right.
Isaiah Simmons,
enigma.
Good one. That's a good one. Dante Miller,
turbo.
That was easy.
He said turbo.
That was easy.
His voice inclined too, but he said turbo.
Everything, right?
Last one, Tommy DeVito.
Cutlets.
Hey.
Cutlets.
Hey.
Honestly,
there it is.
Handled that stuff last year really well. I got to give him, he was a pretty cool customer, given everything that was going around him. That was a tough spot he got put in last year. And look, there were obviously flaws. He's an undrafted free agent starting a quarterback in his rookie year, but he actually did it pretty good.
Yeah, that was awesome. But in the last part of this is, and this one's the phrase, so it may be a little 5-second think about, but
yeah,
Giants' best version for a run game, in your opinion?
Like scheme-wise or personnel-wise?
Scheme-wise, what does it look like in your head based off of what you've seen?
I think the way the league is going now, you have to be able to run a lot of different running schemes. I don't think you can have teams, this is an outside zone team. This is a zone running team. I think defenses have become way too good at scheming up how to stop those specific things. And I think you need to be able to do a little bit of everything depending on the matchup run game. But I do think, generally speaking, and I think we've seen the Rams lean into this, we've seen the 49ers lean into this, as defenses get smaller and smaller, where you have guys that are safety size playing linebacker, teams are in nickel and dime all the time. Cowboys last year played Marquise Bell at 208 pounds as a linebacker. All right. I think you're seeing the value in more of a downhill power scheme in the run game than we've seen over the past 10 years when the zone scheme was so prevalent. So I think a lot of duo, which is, you basically just have, two double teams and get to the second level. A lot of gap and power where you have the, pullers, guards, or whatever, the tackles, tight ends, however you want to look at it, coming through, pin and pull on the outside. I think those type of running schemes now, as defenses get smaller, become more and more valuable. But again, I think you have to be varied based on what defense you're going to face that week.
Yeah, I agree. J-Rock's on you, brother.
I guess we got one more question. This is from Sean Sullivan.
Yeah.
He asked, John, how badly do you want the O-line to work so you don't have to talk about it every day for like the last 5 years?
By the way, it's not 5 years.
It's long.
More like 10. More like 10.
Oh, asking me about the offensive line. He knows.
Yep, 12.
It has been look, basically, in all jokes aside, since Chris Nee, Sean O'Hara, Kareem McKenzie, Richie Soybert, and my God, I'm going to say it. No, I'm not. I'm not going to say Will Beatty. Is that when those guys left the building?
Better not say Will Beatty.
Yeah, John, you just froze us all, John. You froze us all with that just now.
You called Charlie out right
man.
now. Candyman.
So since those guys left, they have not been able, and David Deal, they have not been able to figure this out. And they've put resources into it. You look down the list, there's a lot of high draft picks. There's a lot of big money in free agency. They simply have not picked the right guys in those situations. And when they did get the right guy in Kevin Zeitler, they ended up letting him go to bring in somebody else. So it just hasn't gone well. I do think they have, if they stay healthy, they have the personnel this year with enough, 3 guys with a proven track record that they can be Andrew Thomas, an elite starter, Illuminor and Runyon, solid NFL starters. Right. And then you have 2 young guys that's a first and second round pick. Look, the resources they put into it, they have guys there that I think can play. They even have a guy like Aaron Stinney as a reserve who I think can come in and at least be okay if you need him, right, at guard. So, yes, God, please, I'm tired of talking about this. Everyone gets mad at me. Oh, you make excuses for Daniel Jones with the offensive line. Guys, it's not an excuse. It's a reason. If you look at the Giants' pressure rates and stuff last year, and over the next 2 days, I'm going to go back and watch. I'm going to put myself through this. I'm going to watch every one of Daniel Jones's dropbacks last year, and I'm going to go through it again to make sure I'm remembering what last season looked like. And
I know that's right,
guys. It was ugly. Like, if you could replay that Giant 49er game in week 3 last year, you could have those 2 teams play each other 100 times. The Niners would win 98 of them. Like, that's how much of a mismatch that game was with the offensive line the Giants sent out that week. They had no chance. There was no Saquon, no Andrew Thomas. I think John Michael Schmitz was still out there, but he was struggling as a rookie. I mean, I think you had Azudu starting at left tackle. I mean, you have McKeithen, I think, at right guard. I mean, guys, it was
a mess.
I mean, it was a disaster. I mean, It got so bad they had to pull a 280-pound Justin Pugh off the couch to start at left tackle. I think it was on Monday. Wasn't that Monday Night Football against the Seattle, right? Wasn't that his first
Seattle?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, my God, it was terrible. And I here's the thing that bothers me the most, and this is why I'm excited. I think they've finally gotten to where they need to at the wide receiver position. And I'm not. It's not even Joe Shane's fault. He's done what he can at the position over the past few years. He's done all he can. But I'm tired of saying what if. I don't want to say what if anymore. I want to be able to actually judge what's happening with a group of players that I think give the offense a chance to function like any other NFL team. And I think those players are in place now. So God, yes. I hope I do not have to keep talking about the offense like I have for 10 years. And they have the group of players here that can, again, guys, they don't need to be a top 10 group. Be like the 19th best offensive line in football. Where do I sign? Please.
I know, right? For real.
Right.
Can we just
function? That's it.
Yeah, can we at least have some watchable football? Is anybody in the building have 40-0 on their locker, in the mirror, you know what I mean, over as they're getting ready? Any kind of affirmation statements on the billboard? Is just put 40-0 week 1 against the Cowboys. Does anyone have that kind of mentality? Like, I cannot wait to see them again and get out on this field and win some games.
Yeah, look, guys, I think, I haven't been in the locker room to see any of that. Usually you don't start seeing stuff like that till the guys get in camp and, you start kind of, doing that sort of preparation for the regular season. But look, the group that was here 2 years ago and made the playoffs, they know what it's like. They won a playoff game. Last year was brutal. Everyone knows it. There's a lot of reasons for it. But, these guys do want to play. And a lot of these guys, you talk about Darius Slayton, talk about Daniel Jones, talk about Evan Neal. These guys are playing for their future. They're playing for contracts. They're playing not just for team goals, which is, I think, one thing Brian Daboll does a really good job of. Is I think he does keep everyone focused on the team. We could talk a little Knicks. That's what Tom Thibodeau does with the Knicks, right? He keeps everybody focused on what's best for the team. And I do think Brian Daboll gets that point across to the guys. And that's what most of their mindset is, to be honest with you. But yeah, look, these guys, they try to bring in very ultra competitive guys. That's one of the reasons they like Malik Neighbors, at 6 instead of Aroma Dunze. Not that Dunze is not competitive, but Neighbors brings it to another level, right? So, I do think they have a bunch of guys in that room that have that attitude. Even in the last year, right? Like, they were very happy to beat Philadelphia. And I know Philadelphia wasn't playing for much in that game, and they sat at some of their guys late in that game and all that stuff. I get it. But it mattered to this team to go out there and beat Philly, and I think if they could do that against Dallas this year finally, I think that would matter a lot to them too.
Absolutely. And real quick, and I know you guys got some, but you did just bring up the Knicks, and I don't want to get sidetracked because now, especially Edith Chosen One is here.
I'm chomping at the bits, LRP.
I already know. So my first question,
I'm holding together.
Is,
yeah, brother.
Because I'm not a Knicks fan, you know what I mean? So this is a strictly Switzerland question. So I'm going to say, should the Knicks be looking at Paul George or Klay Thompson?
Klay Thompson, no. They already have a better version of Klay Thompson and Dante DiVincenzo.
Facts.
I would say Paul George, yes. I think he's a little bit older, which I know is not great, but he's still a great player. And he's that versatile wing that can guard guys. He can shoot well. He's not a selfish player. He'll fit in. And right now, you're figuring out how to beat the Celtics, right? The Celtics are the best team in the East. I know a lot of Knicks fans think they would have. Knicks weren't beat, even at full strength. Knicks were not beating the Celtics this year. They just weren't. Celtics were better. So how do you beat Boston? They got guys in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who are those, 6'6" to 6'8" wings that can do a bunch of different things. You need guys to cover those guys. You roll out OG Anunoby and Paul George to guard those two guys in a 7-game series, they would give them hell for 7 games and make it really difficult on them. And it makes, those guys defensively are fantastic. You spread the floor. I know that probably means Randall's going on that trade. I get that. I don't know what else would have to go out in a deal to make that work. And that would obviously, determine whether or not you do it. But do you have interest in Paul George? Yeah, I think you do, because I think he's the exact type of player that can help you, beat Boston, to be quite honest with you.
Awesome.
All right, so my question is not a Nick question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go last and let the Nick fan go ahead and ask you a Nick question.
All right, go ahead. What do you got?
Have some respect, first of all. Okay? Me and John are talking. You understand me? Me and John are about to talk. First of all, John, I love you, because that's how Knicks fans need to greet each other, right? After this season.
They usually don't do that on the internet, though. Usually they're much meaner to each other on the internet.
We listen. We here, brother. Symbiotic.
Worse than Knicks fans now, which is saying something, by the way.
Listen, this has to happen. I've been waiting to ask you some questions, but I've been getting over my hurt. So now that I'm back, I'm revived. Seeing this season, the additions that we had, OG, Precious, Bojanovic, all injured besides Precious going down the stretch, which we know cost us big time. What do you think the New York Knicks need to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, to play against the Boston Celtics and have a chance to move on to the NBA Finals? Take your time, please.
I think, look, this is a short, quick answer, and then you can ask another one. If they just bring back OG and they bring back Hartenstein, I think they have as good of a chance as anyone to go to the Eastern Conference Finals next year to face Boston. I do. I think that's how good the team was this year. If they were healthy, I think they would have been in the Eastern Conference Finals. They were playing on a thread against the Pacers. They still almost beat Indiana. So, yeah, I think Thibodeau's time management and minutes in the regular season were fine this year. People say, oh, he's overplaying them. No, he's not. If you look at the minute leaders, no Knicks were in the minute leaders all year, and he doesn't work them hard in practice. So I think if you run it back, you bring back those two guys, I think you can make a run to the Eastern Conference Finals. It'll be tough. It won't be easy. Philly's going to be a good team. Other teams are good too. But, yeah, I think they got the talent to do that right now.
All right. Last question, John, from you. Thank you for answering. I'm looking at a big man. Maybe a stretch 4, stretch 5. Hartenstein and Robinson does not give us that scoring down low that we need in crucial moments when it comes to big games down the stretch. We need somebody Jalen Brunson can drop the ball to down in the post and create a shot. If it's any big guy that you would like to go out and get free agent wise, who would it be?
It's a good question. I don't think there's a center in free agency, to be honest with you, that fits that type of role you're talking about. I'm not sure that guy exists right now in terms of guys that are available. Valanciunas, I think, is a good, solid player.
Okay.
I don't think he's a guy you dump the ball to, right?
Right.
Like, I would kind of be open to, if they bring back Hartenstein, they bring back OG, like maybe you trade Mitch for a guy that can help in the backcourt or on the wing. I like Denny Advia from Washington. I liked him when he came out in the draft. I think he's gotten a lot better. And there's been rumors about them talking to Washington about a trade. And then you use your mid-level exception on a center. I could see them doing something like that. I just don't think the guy, with a DeAndre Ayton type of skill set, maybe to use that example, I don't think that guy is available in free agency, unfortunately.
Right. All right, my man. Thank you so much, brother.
You're very welcome.
The draft is tonight, correct? The NBA draft?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And don't ask me. I have not done one piece of film work on one NBA draft prospect. I'm not going to lie to you.
No,
don't worry. I'll send you a couple of things in the DM. I got your back.
Okay, please send it along.
I got you, brother.
You guys pick at
24 and
24.
24.
So we got back-to-back first-round picks.
And then 38. My guess is they'll trade one of those. I don't think they're making
absolutely both. to move up at least about 6 spots. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can see them putting together to move up. I could also see them kicking the can down the road too. Neither one of those would surprise me.
My last basketball question, then Shakes could go ahead and take it away with his question. But do you really think Tibbs is the kind of coach that can take a team, not even an 18, to a championship?
I think Tibbs has become a much more flexible coach over the last 2 years. I think we've seen him make certain adjustments that maybe 3 years ago he would not have made in terms of, the offense and, how he's moving the ball around. He ran the offense to Hartenstein a lot in the playoffs, takes a ton of threes. So when they first hired him, I thought about it as, all right, this is the guy that gets them kind of like to the, peak, but then somebody has to get him over, right? And maybe the next guy gets him over after Thibodeau makes them a good, respectable team. But from what I've seen from Tibbs, I feel better about him being the guy that can put him over the top now than I did when they brought him in. We'll see. But I think I probably can't name more than 6 to 8 coaches I'd rather have than him at this point. So it would have to be for the right guy that I move on from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And my bad, Shakes. Last one. What do you think about the JJ Redick to Lakers decision?
That's a clown show, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. That is a clown show, dude.
I got my answer as soon as you with that laugh. But go ahead, Shakes.
All right. Hope y'all got y'all Knicks fixed out. Man, no Knicks junkies. All right. So, my
Why is it
final
always disrespect, man?
because I don't like y'all.
Understood. Understood.
All right. So, as we move on, right? This is my last question of the night for John, and we appreciate you coming through once again, man. You always, every time I call and I say, hey, man, can you come through the show? You never say no, never. So I appreciate
I always try to.
I do. I appreciate you. All right. So my last question for you is, it was good just a week ago, right? Like last year, he was the coach of the year. Year later, he lose all his staff. So my question is, what is Daboll's mindset going into this upcoming season from your standpoint?
Win. I mean, I think it's that simple, man. Like, this is it's time to start winning, and I think they won 2 years ago. Last year was bad. And I think, he's not interested in like, oh, he'll show a little progress and, everything will be okay. No, that's not what Brian Daboll's thinking. He wants to win and get back to the playoffs. That's what his mindset is. And I think, it takes time to build back from a roster that actually had some pretty good young pieces on it when they got here. But beyond that, did not have a lot behind those guys, right? The Barkleys, the McKinneys, the Andrew Thomases, the Xavier McKinneys, the Dexter Lawrences. Those are good young players that got here. Even Leonard Williams, right, who was a free agent signing. Those are good players that were here when they got here. A lot of those guys now moved on. And, that was weird. That's why when Shane kind of took over, it wasn't a full rebuild yet. It was kind of like, all right, well, we're not there yet. You still have some good players. Then you make the playoffs. It kind of pushes everything back another year. And, it's taken them a while to build this roster to where it is today. And I don't think it's a finished product. I don't. I think it's better, but I don't think they are where they think it, really make a run where where they're going to be. I think maybe make the playoffs, sure. But, go out, win some football games, man. Play the type of football that Brian Daboll wants them to play. Play smart football, play tough football, do what you're supposed to do. Don't go out there and make mistakes. And figure out exactly what type of team you are. And I'll leave you with this. You guys, I don't know if this was on purpose. You didn't ask me a Daniel Jones question. Maybe you're tired of talking about it.
Or Benedict Barkley question.
Yeah, that's fine.
See what happens whenever we bring his name up is like smoke comes out of people's face. Like, you know what I mean? Like lights start flickering.
There aren't any Saquon questions anymore. He's gone. Right? I mean, that's in the past. There really aren't any more Saquon questions to ask. I mean, it is what it is at this point, right? So let me just say this about Daniel, and then we can wrap up. I don't know why the fan base, and this isn't the whole fan base, but a lot of it, it's either this guy's the worst quarterback in the league, or this guy would be the best quarterback in the league if only he had a better thing going on around him. And I think there's got to be a sane middle ground here that we can kind of like dig out that makes sense for what we've seen, right? Like 2 years ago, he was good enough. And was it a perfect season? Was it a Pro Bowl season? No. But Daniel Jones was good enough to help this team win a playoff game. Last year, because the situation around him went to complete trash, he was played much worse. And like no one's debating that Daniel Jones was much worse last year than he was the year before. You just watch the tape. It's obvious. Everyone knows that. Daniel will tell you that. No one's running from that. But there were reasons for it. So I think they structured the contract for a reason. And now you go out there, you think you have a better situation around him. And if you're a Giant fan, go out there and root for your team to win games. E went through this with me. We got to a point with the Knicks where you're literally rooting for them to lose games. They're so bad. And that as a fan is the worst feeling in the world. When you're sitting there, and I'm furious that Tim Hardaway Jr. hit 8 threes against the Spurs in a meaningless April game that knocked the Knicks out of the top spot in the draft, so they didn't get Karl Anthony Towns, and they ended up picking third instead of picking first because Tim Hardaway Jr. wins a game against the Spurs in April, and it's brutal. You don't want to do that if you're a fan. You want to root for your team to win. So go out there, root for your team to win, even if you're not a Daniel Jones fan, root for your team to win. And again, that doesn't mean you can't have your eyes open and you're trying to upgrade every position. That's fine. You're always trying to upgrade every position. But root for your team to win. I know fans don't like to hear it. He is a really good kid. He cares. He tries. And does that count if you don't win games? No, nobody's going to care about that. And I totally understand that. But guys, just try to enjoy the ride a little bit. And I know last year was really bad, but at least go into this without a defeatist attitude and hoping this team loses enough games so you can get some type of draft pick that has a less than 50% chance of hitting to replace the guy that you have. And it's just not a fun way to watch football during the year. And I think that's the advice I would give the Giant fans as we move forward into 2024. Try to enjoy yourself just a little bit.
Can I give you a Shake's response?
Sure.
Giant fans ain't trying to hear that. It's war in the streets, bro. It's war. All right. The skies is gonna get dark. The streets is gonna clutter. All right.
That doesn't sound like fun to me, but sure, to each his own, bro.
I hope that the game slows down for him this year and he sees the field. That was always been my only gripe. With time and not being on that fight or flight mode constantly with that offensive line, not really knowing where you're going to go. Hopefully this year he sees the field. He has some time to see the field. And he got the weaponry to deliver it to. So we shall see. It should be fun though.
From your lips, man. I hope you're right.
Yeah.
Schmeelk, everybody.
Yes. So stick around real quick. Stick around. John Schmeelk, thank you so much for joining us for this first hour. Everybody, stick around. We got a lot more show for you. You know what I mean? But thanks again, John. Enjoy the vacation. Enjoy the time off. Enjoy the summer. We'll see you back at training camp. And thanks again for joining us, man. Always welcome. Come back. And salute to you.
All right. Thanks
guys.
For
everything, brother. Always good to see you, John.
Enjoy the season, bros. Appreciate it, man.
You know it, bro. You got it.
Yep.
All right. John Schmeelk, ladies and gentlemen. Continuing on with guest week. You know what I mean? Appreciate that, brother, for coming through. Blessing us with his time and his thoughts and his knowledge. And so what we think, man? What's going on, fellas? Shakedown continues.
Yeah, man.
Dope. We covered a lot of topics, a lot of questions. We avoided the ones that would start any controversy. It was clean. You know what I mean? It was clean, baby. So we all right.
Already. Well, shoot. You guys seen enough of
time for war. You know what I'm saying?
Shakes always want to start something, man.
Yeah, man. I love
Shakes is Bugs Bunny when he used to walk up to people and take them the gloves off and hit them in the face twice. Pip, pip.
I let you do a door.
And then walk, yeah. Right.
Fans, I'm going to put the link, or, fans, everybody tune in, put the link in the chat. The lounge is open. You know what I mean? Come on through. Come on up.
Let us know how you feel about the interview.
Let you know,
that we have done this week, man. We got one more for y'all. So, yeah, I mean, let us know how y'all feeling about the interviews, man.
Get over.
Go ahead and get the link.
Yo, this is why I don't like cats, bro. They're intrusive, man.
Right.
We back on that?
Yeah, we back on that because I got one sitting right next to me, trying to, get at me. I don't like this.
So you uncomfortable right now?
Thank you,
dude. So it's
you crawl.
Right. It's okay for me.
My face, bro.
It's okay for me to say that. You uncomfortable, man.
Crawling on this shit. Touching.
You know what I'm saying?
What's the number, What's the number? I call it for you. Sometimes people are uncomfortable. I call for you.
Yes. What up, Big Pat?
What's up with you?
Ain't nothing. What's going on, man?
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, just seen the interview. I know he told me to roll, so I'm gonna pull up when I'm asked to pull up. Man, that was a good interview with John Schmeelk, man. I like that.
Thank you, brother.
What's on your mind, brother?
Oh no, man, just I'm getting back and making some videos, you know what I'm saying, before training camp. Took a little break, like I John Schmeelk get ready to do until training camp. There is a couple of things that I'd like to talk about. First is, why is everybody so afraid of our secondary this year? That's what I want to know.
Why they not?
No, why is everybody afraid of our secondary this year? Like they're just going to be the most garbage secondary that you've ever seen in life.
Who said that?
It's just
read the reports, read Twitter.
It's like the stigma, you know what I mean? When you ask around, like, well, what position are you most concerned about? It's always cornerback.
What?
Everybody always gives that.
Absolutely, LRP. So, Pat, I would love to ask you a question. After doing as much film study as you do, and tuning in and tapping into everything, give the Giants fans some positives about our secondary. Help some people understand that don't watch film, that just go off names and feel some kind of way because they may not know the scheme or what we're about to get into. Give the Giants fans some understanding on why you should hold off on all that fear and actually look for the confidence in the secondary.
Okay, first and foremost, I'm confident in the secondary. I'm not saying they're going to be top 5 or the number 1 secondary in the league, but I know they're not going to be the worst. Is because the scheme of this defense. This defense is schemed to get pressure with the front 4. That's why we brought in Brian Burns. That's why Dexter Lawrence is here. Thibodeau is getting better. And I actually believe Ryder Anderson has a chance to be that other defensive tackle opposite of Dexter Lawrence on third downs, because he fits what he does as far as the loops and the switches that they do at the front line. I believe they're going to have where he can actually get 3 people on him if the offensive line is not careful. So the pressure from the defensive line helps them out tremendously. Secondly, I believe Tyler Newman can do everything that Xavier McKinney did for this team plus more. I think he's a better tackler. I think he's more instinctive. He will be a rookie. He will struggle at times during his first season, but once he gets in the groove of things, I don't know if you guys remember Kevin Byard with the Tennessee Titans before he went to the Eagles. I think he could be that type of player. I think they have the similar builds and similar skill sets, and that's why they drafted him in the second round. And thirdly, I do believe Drew Phillips will be started at the slot corner, and I think he's perfect for this defense as far as his aggressiveness in the slot. He could play outside and inside, but I believe he has the speed and the instincts to play in the slot against people like CeeDee Lamb if we're getting pressure. Now, don't get it twisted. If we're not getting pressure, some things can be exposed, and that can happen to any team that's not getting pressure. Look at all the teams that don't get pressure, and you watch their secondaries be very low, because I believe pressure helps your secondary tremendously. And Cordell Flott, I think he might surprise some people this year, man. I just think that he has that dog. People forget that this dude came to us around 19, 20 years old. So he's still one of the younger guys on this team, and he's still learning, even though he's in his 3rd year. So I want to see this team surprise some people, man. And just people just like, oh, we're going to be so garbage in the secondary. We're going to get killed. We got to play CeeDee Lamb. We got to play Terry McLaurin. We beat the Commanders twice every year. Terry McLaurin's been there every year. We've been playing them the past couple of years, right? So
I will say this, Pat. And before I say that, though, I want to get to Drew. Welcome, Drew. You know what I mean?
Thank
Two giant goofballs. You know what's going on, brother?
Drew, good to see you, Drew.
Yeah, man.
How's it going, man? Thanks for joining the show.
I appreciate it, guys. Always got to pop in whenever I get the chance to talk Giant football. I'm like an absolute addict, so I can't help myself. I see a link, I'm like, boop, pop in.
I know that's right. Hey, welcome to have you. Do you have any thoughts on Big Pat and what he said about our secondary? Have you heard the same thing?
Yeah, but I agree with a lot of what he's saying as far as the secondary. Part of what my thing is, I look at is I go, I know everybody wants Gilmore. Everybody wants Gilmore. I keep on hearing the Gilmore talk. First off, I don't think Gilmore wants anything to do with the Giants. He wants to go to a winning team. No disrespect to the current Giants. I think they're being undervalued in the NFL right now. but I don't think they're viewed as that kind of team that a veteran goes to at the very tail end of his career there. But I don't even want him. I don't understand the whole bit of let's get a guy who's at the end of his career, maybe 1 or 2 more years left, if that, as a corner. When we have young guys, we can give a chance to see what they got.
It's about clout, Drew.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
I
don't care about clout. I care about championships and wins. That's all I care about. I don't give a damn how we do it. We can have Daniel Jones fumbling every single game or falling down at the 80-yard line. I don't care if we win. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I care about.
We call it we call Gil. What Shakes call him Old Man Quillis? We call him Old Man Quillis over here from that movie Juice. You know what I'm saying? You get to a certain stage, he's like Old Man Quillis. We don't want the Old Man Quillis over here. We stick with the young tribe and the young symbols.
And I still think Nick McLeod's going to beat out Flott at some point for that second corner position, though. I'm a McLeod guy. I think he's always been a little underrated on this team overall. I'm just not big on Flott as well as part of it. I got to be frank with you. I think maybe I'm
Drew. What up, baby?
Draft. What's up?
Now I like Flott. Flott on the outside was where I kind of wanted him to be. When he first came in, I know he was skinny. You know what I mean? As far as got to get some meat on his bones, pause. So I get all that. I like Nick Flott more so in like a nickel. You know what I mean? I think he reacts better when he has a shorter field and shorter space to work with. When you put him out there on the island, maybe he gets a little exposed, is the word I'm looking for. But if it's tight and confined, I like Nick McCall a lot. We got also NYG, Unpopular Opinion Sports, up in the building too. Welcome to the show, bro.
Yo, what's good?
NYG, what up? What up? So I'll just say this to you, LRP, right? A lot of people forget Cordell Flott played against Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, John Meach. I'm sorry. I forget the kid's name. He just came out last year. He has some issues. So everybody he's played against. Okay. Everybody that he's played against are star receivers or have that star receiver potential in the NFL. So he's done it before. Gone up against these guys in practice. He's built for it. I think it's time to let him take the reins, see what he can do, and let him actually rep up to get where he needs to be. Because if you look at him against A.J. Brown, that was some of his greatest work because he had the most reps. And look how he did against that. And that's nothing to sneeze at. So I think we give a kid a chance.
Yeah. I like our secondary. Giants fans, y'all tripping. Sometimes you just trip. I like our secondary. I like our defense. That's the only area that I'm not worried about. It's like, you know what I mean? Even with Shane Bowen.
Is it just me, or is defensive line a little more scary than the secondary to a certain degree? I mean, I agree with Pat, what you're saying with Ryder Anderson before. I think he's actually a guy who's got that like Kiwanuka kind of vibe to me. That's going to come in on passing down, be a pass rushing specialist kind of guy. And to be honest, he's probably better built for a 4-3 defense than the 3-4 that we do at that point. So it's perfect to bring him in those kind of scenarios. But, you got obviously Dexter Lawrence, who's the best nose tackle in all football. You got Nacho, who is a veteran but kind of underperformed a little last year. And then who you got? You got a bunch of guys who are like 5th, 6th, 7th round picks, undrafted free agents you're counting on. That's a little scary to me.
The key to this line is going to be stopping the run, because if you can't stop the run, then those guys, all these pass rushers, aren't going to get those pass rush opportunities. And the Giants have struggled with stopping the run in recent seasons. That's why that 3-tech next to Dexter Lawrence is key this year, because we're going to need that run support, because teams are going to try to run on the Giants. They know what we got in Tibbs and Burns and Dex and all these guys, all these pass rushers. What do you think they're going to try to do? They're going to try to run on you. And the Giants are going to have to be able to stop the run. That's going to be the key to this season as far as the defense is concerned. If they can stop the run, they can get those pass rush opportunities. And like Pat said, that will help out the young secondary.
Cypher goes to Shake.
I think that I'm not really concerned about the defensive line, and I think that we're gonna play a lot more 4-3 sets than people actually think. Like, I think people think that we just gonna be strictly a 3-4, and that's not gonna be the case. We're gonna play a lot of 4-3 sets as well. So I think in that aspect, that front four is gonna be strong each down for me. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. But getting back to Big Pat and the Commanders, I think it would be a fallacy for us to keep on thinking that we're gonna have that number.
Why they hire Bobby Johnson? We should be hitting that quarterback every single play.
Word.
Seriously.
Word.
But watch, we won't. Watch, we won't.
What I want to ask, last real LRP, not to cut anybody off. Why does it when we do something all the time, and we say, man, we've been beating the Commanders for a while. I'm not really worried about the Commanders. It's wait a minute, it could actually change this year. But then if you mention anything about the Giants, that happens to us all the time. Yeah, our offensive line might be better this year. Now it's like, oh, you tripping. You know our offensive line ain't gonna be garbage. Like, why we always gotta be garbage at everything? Like, this franchise has never won anything in its life. Like, I don't get it. Like, what's up with the negative? Maybe that's why people don't like me in these New York Giant streets. Maybe I talk a little too positive for people.
I think
want
you
that
make a
negative
good point.
attitude.
You make a good point. My only concern, and the only reason why I say that now, is because just how things, and I have no proof, you know what I mean, or any kind of guaranteed certainty that this will be the case, but I just think that franchise are doing things a little bit differently. The way they drafted, the way they're coaching, it's kind of like, they changed the whole winning image. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and usually
I get what you're saying.
So I'm just saying.
But they changed last year, right? With Sam Bowell. Sam Bowell was going to be the greatest thing ever. Yeah, Sam Bowell was the greatest thing ever the first 5 games.
Yeah,
y'all guys are trash. Yeah. Sam Bowell was putting up numbers. Believe it or not. He was throwing a lot of interceptions and stuff, but he was still putting up numbers. Oh, man, y'all guys trash. Ain't no way y'all going to beat it. Y'all dudes are dead. And we wound up beating them twice with a makeshift team last year. So, excuse my confidence of beating the Commanders next year. I don't know why.
No, I ain't trying to change your mind.
I'm telling you.
I ain't trying to change your mind. I just don't think that they may come out a little bit stronger. Like,
so
for the same
what's
reasons
the
why I
difference
think
with
Dallas takes a step
Daniels?
back. Jaden Daniels being one of them. Absolutely. Don't they who's that offensive coordinator? Kingsbury?
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury.
I think Cliff Kingsbury, it'd be a big old if. I'm using air quotes. It'll be a big old if he's learned anything from, where he's priorly been. So who's to say? Who knows? If I'm a betting man, I got no proof. But if I'm walking into a casino, I see a roulette table and the Commanders is up there, I may put 15 on it, just how I'm feeling today, based off of how things kind of work in the universe.
Okay.
I wouldn't even put 15 games on Jaden Daniels being in the season here based on that line. I'm sorry, that's just I can't get past the line. You got a 210-pound quarterback with that line, and Bobby Johnson as the coach.
All I gotta say is that man, if he doesn't have over 1,000 yards rushing, he's in trouble.
But people also leave us and go someplace else and get better too. I don't know what it is with the Giants. You know what I mean?
That's
for the longest time, I thought we had a development issue.
That's people that succeeded elsewhere. Bobby Johnson was bad in Buffalo. That was the worst hiring that Dable did for his staff.
I don't know. Why were we so high on him then?
I have no clue.
Who was high on him?
Because his name was Bobby Johnson. He was OG.
Oh yeah, that's right. It went good for marketing purposes, right?
Yeah.
OG
it
Bobby
sounded
Johnson.
good. Yeah, that's what it was. Because I didn't get the hire either. It's like you have an O-line problem. Go and get a qualified coach.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing this for a while now with the Mark Colombo, and, all these offensive line coaches that ain't ain't developing nobody. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's the Giants' problem: development.
They should have had a blank check for Callahan that offseason instead of when they had Joe Judge's staff originally. They should have had a blank check for Callahan to try to fix that stuff. I don't care with Garrett or not. I have a lot of issue with people in my industry, but you give me enough money, I'll ignore those issues real quick. There is no salary cap. There is no salary cap for offensive line coaches.
More people need to take that stance. More money means a lot. What's going on, Same? Same difference in the building.
Peace, family. Peace. Y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Great show, man. Great interview. As y'all already know, man, y'all was cooking.
Appreciate it.
Oh, the show still go on. You know what I mean? So we like almost in the middle pause of the show, right?
Yeah.
What y'all talking about right now? My bad.
State of the Giants, all kinds of Giant stuff. We got many guests that came and chilled into the lounge with us today after the interview. We got 2 Giants goofballs. Peace, apologies. Unpopular opinion sports.
We can talk golf too. It's okay.
Yeah, we got it. You know what I mean? So we just chopping it up about the Giants and, fan reactions or, reactions to the interview and all that.
All right.
Just chopping it up, man.
Oh, peace,
how do y'all
family.
feel about that Hard Knocks trailer?
Oh, that's what I forgot to ask you about the Hard Knocks.
Yeah, it sounds like Barkley was the one that didn't give the Giants a chance.
I don't know.
That's what it sounded like.
Remember, the Giants had Final Cut.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Joe Shane said, "Hey, you gonna keep your word." That's what he said in the clip.
Why wouldn't he lie about that, though? The Barkley thing is over.
Set us up for those who don't know, fellas. With clip, NYG and Big Pat. Set us up for what y'all talking about. For those who don't know.
Yeah, there was a clip in there where Joe Shane was talking to Barkley, and he said, "Hey, you gonna keep your word to give us a chance to bring you back?" And that, it ended right there. So we gonna see, but all know this all happened before.
Little cliffhanger.
Yeah, this all happened before.
Shouts out to the cliffhanger trailer. What kind of shit is that?
Hey, yo.
You got to tune in the next week to find out what he said?
Yeah.
Basically, that's when the premiere is next week.
That's crazy. And it's funny how they emphasize that, right?
Yeah.
You're going to keep your word. You're going to give us a chance to bring you back. But from what we heard, he was never offered a contract according to his POV.
Yep, he was never offered a contract.
You take a bite of
never gave him a
That's a fact.
Thought it wasn't gonna be interesting, J Rock. I was excited for nothing, right, J Rock?
About the Brian part too, they said they're gonna have to give up 2 seconds probably to get him, and they said they have to pay him around $28 million a year. And that little snippet they said too. So we end up giving him less to the Panthers, a little bit more to burn.
More money. Yeah,
yep.
They give him more money.
I want to see what they got in the trade. That who was it? Atlanta. Who was it? Was it Atlanta?
That call about moving up.
Yeah, about moving up.
Yep, Atlanta. I guess they were just that desperate to get Michael Penix to sit on the bench the next 3 years.
I wonder what that offer was. If they give us a little bit on that.
I don't think Kirk gonna last that long.
So they said that the Falcons was giving us an offer to move up.
Yeah.
I
mean, unless they wanted neighbors at that point, get another weapon. I mean, I don't know.
So that means they were all in on neighbors then, because the Falcons, they had to move up from what, 12?
No, 8? It would have been 8.
It was
8. Oh, 8?
Yeah, they would have dropped 2 spots.
Yeah.
Oh, so they were all in on neighbors then.
Yeah.
I'm curious what the offer is. I mean, I like neighbors, but was the Dunes?
That's what I'm curious. Yeah, I want to know what that offer was.
If that was the plan, was to get the wide receiver, was the Dunes that big of a drop for them at that point?
I believe so. I believe neighbors is way better than what Doomsday could actually become.
Yeah, I think neighbors has the highest ceiling of the 3, but I like a Doomsday too.
Doomsday
went to the Bears.
Yeah.
At 9, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be the Jackson Smith-Njigba of this year, where he just kind of sits as a third receiver, learns behind two guys.
Yeah. What do y'all think of the Bears season? Think they're going to have a Houston?
I think they're going to be more competitive.
I think Caleb Williams will be a bust. I'm saying it.
You think so too?
I'm saying all along. There's just something about this kid. I just. It's not. Listen, I don't care about the painting the nails. I don't care about the pink phone. I don't care about any of that stuff, because in the end, you win football. No one cares about that stuff.
Right.
And maybe it's just maybe I'm old school. Listen, I'm old. I admit it. It is what it is. But to me, I lost all respect for the man when he went into the stands and cried in his mommy's lap. I'm sorry. Like, the man was shaking, crying. Like, if you want to show emotion with your team, whatever. No, you went out of your way to climb up into the stands and cry in your mom's lap like a baby. I'm sorry. I can't get over that. You cannot be a leader of men in a football team, but in the NFL doing that kind of stuff. Not going to happen.
For me, Drew, for me, Drew, it was the 4-game stretch after they played Notre Dame. It seemed like them college teams figured him out.
Yep.
And I needed to see him step up and play the type of football that the whole world was enamored with besides myself. So for that 4-game stretch, I saw him become an average to under average quarterback, decision-making wise, getting out of the pocket, throws and erratic throws down the field. I seen him almost have 6 interceptions in that game versus Notre Dame.
Yep.
I saw frustration. I didn't see a headsy leader, and I definitely didn't see a leader in the huddle, because his team was like, yo, let's go. And his demeanor was nowhere near what we would want in a leader. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to be productive in the NFL, but I have a lot of question marks, especially having the top spot and being the number 1 pick.
I'll add to that, as well. Every good team that he played in college that had a decent defense, he looked horrible. But as far as him in the NFL, I find it very hard for him not to have, at least stat-wise, decent rookie year. You got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Romo Doomsday, Cole Kmet, running backs. They help the offensive line. If he doesn't do anything over there in Chicago, Drew might be right. He might be a bust. Because, man, they giving him the world over there.
Here's a question I never really heard mentioned this year too much. And I admit I stick much more to pro than I do college. I go dive into college once the pro season's over. But what about the fact that did he make Jordan Addison, or did Jordan Addison make him? Because I'm sorry, he looked like a totally different quarterback without him.
Jordan Addison definitely helped him big time with the confidence of throwing the ball off of his back foot and just heaving it up like that. Because the separation that Addison got, it made him look really, really, really like he was just accurate. And you saw the year after.
Yeah.
When he had a bigger body wide receiver, but a guy who was more of a possession guy in Rice and, up the field. So he had to work a little harder, right, as a quarterback. And that's what you saw.
Yep.
You saw a gift and a curse. But which one is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it looked decent as a rookie because, as Pat said, he's got great weapons around him. It's kind of hard not to look at least decent and some promise. Right. I just think he's going to fall really short of this mantle he's put on as like the best QB prospect to come out since Andrew Luck. Like, no. I don't
now that I'm not even. Yeah, I'm not feeling that.
Because he's supposed to be generational, and we let a lot of these people off the hook because we don't hold them to their word, because they told us Trevor Lawrence was generational too. Mm-hmm. They say these outlandish things about these quarterbacks who've never proven anything in the NFL. They got all these guys ranked, ahead of quarterbacks that have actually played football, and you don't even know what you're gonna get from any of these quarterbacks. You don't know their situations and how they mentally will adjust to the NFL. I'm hearing things about J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota, how he want to hold out for his contract for more guaranteed money. I'm hearing things about Caleb Williams, and his, attitude, like, he's the man already. Like, you haven't proven nothing. And guess what? These defensive players, they're seeing all that. And guess what? They looking at you like, yo, it's money time, bro. we gonna hunt. We gonna eat. Because these guys haven't done anything yet. And it's very rare that these quarterbacks, everybody's hung up on CJ Stroud. That is so rare in the NFL. I mean, really rare.
But they don't even put in the work to see how he did it.
Yep.
They don't even put in the work to see how he did it, because when that offensive line played bad in those games, he threw picks. Each one of those games, that offensive line didn't show up. Look at those PFF grades for those lines. When the PFF grades were low, he played low. And people act like Nico Collins was just some bum before he got there. I've been looking at Nico Collins' Paul since Michigan. Dude's a monster. He just needed somebody that could give him the ball. People think that the quarterback is the end all be all. It's not true. He's the most important. Yeah,
he's the most coordinator is dope as hell too.
Yeah, the offensive coordinator, the new scheme, the new offensive line scheme, Schultz, Tank Dell, who I was telling people about before the draft.
You better stop. You know.
Monster.
You know.
They even had Brevin Jordan from Miami behind Dalton Schultz. You don't know about him. I keep trying to tell people the quarterback's the most important position, but he's also the most dependent. Because if the offensive line don't block well, he can't do well. If his receivers can't catch, he can't do well. If the scheme is messed up, he can't do well. There's no quarterback that's going to go out there with a bad scheme, bad offensive line, bad weapons, and kill it. The closest personnel that did it was Andrew Luck. And you've seen what happened to him. He had to retire because he kept getting beat up. You can only do it for so long at a quarterback.
Yep. To piggyback off that, right? Just think about it. The number one defense and damn near the number one running team in college allowed their quarterback to be a first rounder.
Facts.
He did not do anything. And I wish anybody would come for me, because I'm sinning for you, to tell me JJ McCarthy earned a first round draft status with a team like Michigan. You can't tell me 10 plays that he won a game with during last year's regular season. Not even the national championship. They ran all over Washington, and all he had to do was not lose the game.
Yep. All he did, hand the ball to Blake.
Facts.
What is he holding out for? That's crazy, NYG.
He ain't got the right mindset. He don't know what's going on right now.
It's a rumor. It's a rumor going around on Twitter. I mean, it is just a rumor, but that he wants more guaranteed money on his rookie deal, something like that.
And I was told that I was stupid when I said why did Malik Neighbors sign so fast if he was so angry and so sad about being a New York Giant. Oh, the rookie contracts are already set. I know that, fool, but they can hold out for more guaranteed money.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen I don't know how many times. Yep. And if he was that mad and that sad about being a New York Giant, you don't think he would have held out for the max amount of guaranteed money?
So I'm pretty sure he hasn't signed yet.
McCarthy?
Yeah.
You know.
I think he hasn't signed yet.
He's a little worried he won't get a second deal, I think.
Yeah. I think he is.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
They're saying
that he even got to go through
better. They said Sam Darnold is better in camp than he has.
Yeah, because he's not.
He got Justin Jefferson.
Goes right on.
And Jordan Addison, though, comes for a full circle of Jordan Addison again.
Come on, man.
Jordan Addison got 900 yards with Justin Jefferson on the field.
Yeah, 6-string quarterbacks throwing to the ball. And
right.
900 yards.
Nick Mullins.
Yeah.
He's still putting up stats.
That's why I said already that anything below that is like a bad season for Neighbors off the bat because of that. I gotta hold him to that.
I was told quarterbacks make receivers.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'll go in. You know what? I'm gonna be cool.
As a Giant fan, we should all know that receivers can make quarterbacks. We see Jalen Hurts twice a year.
Facts.
That's a debate that's ongoing. Yeah. That's a debate that's ongoing in this room.
Picture this.
It goes both ways.
I'm gonna stop right after this. But picture this.
Oh yeah.
What What quarterback just by throwing the ball makes a receiver run better routes and catch the ball better? What does he do? What is he doing so special throwing the ball to him that's making him run better routes? Oh, he can lead the receiver. Oh, the receiver has to run the route first in order to be led. He still has to get open. If he has no hands and then Patrick Mahomes throws a dime and he drops it, guess what? It's incomplete. It don't matter who the quarterback is. If your receivers can't separate and can't catch, it's a wrap. If your offensive line can't block, yeah, he can make the offensive line block better. How? How is he gonna make Evan Neal go out there and block mano better? By throwing the ball. Please explain that to me.
Right, right, goofballs.
Seriously,
somebody could do that.
Make them block better.
They act like the quarterback is just say hike and he has a magic wand. Go do this. And he's just making people go all over the field with a magic wand. Yeah, go right there. I'm gonna throw it to you. Yeah, go over here. Hey, Neil, look around and block him. Go ahead and do that. No, nigga.
Hey, what you got to say,
those
man?
people to do that by themselves, sir, or he's going to get killed. I don't care who it is.
J-Rob,
people are crazy.
Nothing to say.
You ain't got nothing to say?
Yo, J-Rob.
Nope.
I think J-Rock is taking care of something in the background, I think.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
But if you are with us,
Yo,
J-Rock,
E,
let us know.
Do you feel anything contrary to that?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Man, first of all, if we had a beat going, he just dropped a hot 16. You understand? I don't got nothing to say to that right there. And I hope he could repeat it, because I'm going to put that little 35-second cut, and I'm going to ask J-Rock to put a beat to that, and we're going to produce that and put that out there for the people. You feel me?
Yeah.
Did you hear what he just said? He said they act like quarterbacks got magic wands and can just point to the spots. You feel me? I can't do what he did, but you know what he did. He pointed around to the spots on the football field that he imagined in his mind and was like, he over there. And I'm you go over there. That's what I was trying to express earlier in my life. So I'm not going to say nothing except thank you, Brother Pat, for emphasizing.
Receivers make quarterbacks better?
You already know you can't ask me that.
Absolute fact.
Yeah, is there not the middle ground where you can say great team around will make an average quarterback look good, and
Flex, you see it all the time.
an above average quarterback will make an average team look good in the I mean, both are true.
Yeah, both are true.
It's just a matter of which one can you provide. We're not going to be able to provide right now, at least this year, as a Giants team, a great quarterback. Let's be honest.
Listen,
But Daniel Jones can be an average quarterback that looks good with a good team around him potentially, if he can stay healthy and if he can go back to what he was in 22 as opposed to being what he was last year.
Tyler, his only thing is seeing the field. If he could see the field a little bit better and the game slow down for him, there's nothing wrong with the boy's mechanics. We got to see what his knee looking like now, but before his knee. Wasn't nothing wrong with his mechanics or his arm throw, his strength, his English. He can put on the velocity. He can touch pass, lob pass.
Wow.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't never nothing wrong with that.
It was just interrupt the football talk, but a big trade just happened in the NBA.
Yeah, shouts out to Glenn.
Don't say the Knicks did.
Bring that.
The Knicks
didn't do nothing. Trade. Breaking news.
Crazy.
Oh man.
What's good, A-Trash?
You gonna bring that up, NYG? What's going
on? Apparently the Knicks just made a trade for Mikal Bridges.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bridges.
It's Villanova for real. Yo, it's about to be Nova
the
for
Nets
real.
get 9 first-round picks.
9?
First-round picks?
Hold on. I'm trying to find the.
Yeah, I'll let you read that.
Hell no.
A protected first-round pick via the Bucks, and an unprotected pick swap, and a second rounder
for Mikal Bridges.
Say that again, Drew.
So it's This is what is on Twitter at least. We'll see if it's legit when it comes to full notice here. But 4 unprotected first round picks, a protected first round pick via the Bucks, an unprotected pick swap, and a second rounder
for Mikal Bridges.
Yes.
All kinds of
I'm gonna see y'all. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow.
From the Nets or the Hornets?
I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow.
Don't go nowhere.
Nets.
Don't go nowhere. He left for real.
This is a Nets trade. I never thought they would do this. This shit
wait
is
to see if it was
wow.
That's crazy,
Wow.
man.
They ain't gave it that much.
It's all over. Yeah, it's all over Twitter.
Damn, y'all acting like that dude LeBron James or something, man.
I'm about to go to ESPN. Let me go to sports. Turn my television.
Oh yeah.
Give it all up, huh?
Brooklyn.
Yeah, four unprotected first round picks, a protected first round pick, an unprotected pick swap, and a second rounder.
What the hell?
Gave
That's
up the whole
And
house.
Bogdanovic.
Oh yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah. Give up Bogdanovic, but damn, that many picks for Blitz.
Yeah.
Damn.
Guess that owner said, you know,
Turn around and
Well,
pay him the season.
that owner
That
said,
actually
fuck it, I'm
changed
doing
the
it
net.
live.
Yeah. I actually,
agree
as a
with
Nets
that
fan,
three-point
I didn't want to trade Bridges, but to get this much,
Sheesh.
I think the Nets just
Putting in
recouped
work
everything
right there.
lost in the Garnett Paul Pierce trade all those years ago in this one move here. Like, damn.
Right.
Yo, Edith Chosen really left.
he hurt.
That's
I
crazy.
thought he was joking. Damn.
That's unacceptable, man.
I'm glad I ain't a fan of any basketball team right now.
Man.
Yeah.
What kind of trade is that?
And then OG, he declined.
Yeah,
his option
Shakes
for
is a
19%.
Nets fan. Shakes, how you feel about this, man?
What do you think, Shakes?
I think the skies ain't so dark and the streets ain't gonna clutter us no more.
Talk to him.
He said, let's
Still
go.
gonna be blue and orange, baby.
Let's go Nets. Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we
Always
go.
just be Brooklyn. We're New York.
Brooklyn.
We're New York. Just be a borough.
Niggas got what naked with that trade, bro.
Same. Are you the lone Knicks fan?
Yo,
on
I
TV right now?
think I'm about to leave, man. This is some bullshit. I gotta go do some investigating, man. This is crazy.
They're saying here Bridges
Did I
apparently
just
went
get-
to the Nets and said he wanted to be a Knick, and he was prepared to sign with the
Good
Knicks.
for him.
That's crazy.
Now we could build around Cam Thomas like we should have been doing anyway. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't understand why y'all even give Cam Thomas this burn.
Let's go.
Nah, man, there's gotta be some details somewhere, man. Hold on now. We ain't just get fleeced like that.
Yo,
That's crazy.
Oh, no, you did.
that's
Oh no, you did. Oh yeah, you did.
Y'all got guy. And he's not that good. We know.
Yeah, he's
Hey,
too
look,
sporadic.
I see it on Bleacher Report. It's official, dog, to me. It's a rat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
seen
see on
that.
Bleacher Report. It's
mean
all
they
right.
had a truck.
Mm-hmm.
It's on NBA TV too.
That mean they had a talk after Jalen and Josh's podcast, because Tibbs do be showing up on their podcast. So they had a talk.
So is it the two this year? That's what I'm wondering. Because the Knicks did have two.
Bro, we got
They say, we're
4
gonna give
first
up the
round
house.
picks this year from the shit.
Somebody
We
called
got
the
4
proper
first-round
authority.
picks to give away. We got 4 first-round picks to give away. We got the tunnel vision, man. We already know exactly what we need. You can have those, and we're gonna play you, play you. So yeah, I'm good.
Hey, look.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Hey,
good.
Same.
I'm,
Hey, look. That's all I gotta say.
First, I might
It's
be sad,
thank
then
you.
I'll be mad because I'm.
That's all I gotta
Hey.
say
mad
to
that I
you.
was sad.
Is thank you.
I gotta go do
Right,
some
saying,
Mikal
man.
Bridges
That's like
film watching because man, I know he ain't worth that.
I'm telling you, Pat.
He gotta be dropping at least 24 a night.
Yo, so y'all gonna have the Knicks gonna have Brunson, Hart, Bridges, Randall, and who's the center? That one guy. I can't think of his name.
Mitchell Robinson, one of them.
Yeah.
They're gonna get rid of Mitchell Robinson.
He's like one of them players.
That's the word. That's the word. That's what we hear.
I mean, that's not a bad lineup. Especially
they trying to create this Villanova reunion college thing on some goofy shit, and it's going to backfire.
It's worked thus far. It's worked thus far.
Hey, ain't mad at you.
Well, now they got them all.
We like a piece and halfway, Paul.
Yup, right, Shakes. They got them all. Good form. Hip hip hooray!
I'm not even a Knicks fan, and I'm about to leave. That's crazy. They gotta win the finals now. They gotta win the finals now because you don't have no draft for like the next 5 years.
Looks like the Knicks are changing their name as well. They're going to be the New York Wildcats next year.
It says one. I guess they only get one pick. They get one pick from the Knicks, one pick from the Bucks this year, and then a second round pick this year. So they get 3 picks this year, and then they get one in 27, 29, and 31.
So the Knicks gave up both their first round picks this year?
Well, yeah, I guess because that second pick was from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So yeah, they gave them both up.
Pick was from Dallas. I thought it looks like.
Was it?
That's what NBA.
I'm not sure.
I went to go look. They got the 24th pick from Dallas, and they had the 25th pick in the draft.
Oh, well,
now we got it.
That's crazy. How many picks did you guys start the day with?
Streets. Yo, they dance in the streets. Nothing but they skivvies on.
Facts.
I'm wondering if they going to bring back OG Anunoby now.
Bro, he declined his option this morning.
Yeah,
and
he's better than Bridges. I'm telling you.
I woke up to that. I was mad as hell.
That's probably why he left because it's just compounding now. Drew, what's your favorite part of the Giants team? What's your favorite area of the football?
I mean, on the current roster, you mean, or overall?
Overall, just
I love the pass rush history that we have on this team, man. Like, just being a guy who grew up in the '80s, you know, got to see at least as a young kid the tail end of LT's career and all that kind of stuff, and you know, then growing up in the heyday of Strahan, OC, JPP, Tuck. I mean, it's just there's something fun about watching a defense. Like, I will always remember OC's big game against the Eagles. What was it, 6 sacks or something he had in that game?
Yeah, that game was hilarious.
That was so much fun. So much fun.
They were having a lot of fun too.
Man, they were killing that
we were talking about making a drinking game. We take a shot every time OC hits the quarterback. Like, gotcha. Like that was like one of the most fun. I mean, obviously the Super Bowls are the best ones there, but that one just stands out.
Right back,
a regular season game is just one of the most fun games ever to watch.
Nice. He the chosen one back with us.
Be nice. Now we got Burns. Now we got Tibbs. You know, see what we got going on with that kind of thing. I mean, I still think Ojulari too is underrated of what he can do if he can just stay healthy. Like when he was healthy, which hasn't been much. He's got a pretty good sack to game ratio going there, really, if you look at it like that.
Absolutely.
You know, if he could be that guy that comes in just on third downs, but an obvious passing downs, just go right, you know, pin those ears back and go right for the quarterback. You put him with Burns, you put him with Tibbs, you know, you got Dexter Lawrence creating that pressure up the middle, pushing a quarterback out of the pocket. Like, that's going to be a fun, you know, a thing to watch this year if it all works out.
Who you think dropping inside with that? Out of those three.
What was that? Sorry.
Out of those three, Tibbs, OG, and Burns. Who you think is dropping inside, playing that DT role in the NASCAR? With,
I think if they're smart, they're going to try to figure out a way to do something a little off the cuff there a little bit, because you got Burns. You just paid a ton of money to him. You don't want to risk him getting injured really by lining up on the line like that, up the middle like that. You're going to have Thibodeau, who has had some injury issues himself, and then you got Ojulari, who just gets hurt by coughing. So I don't know if you really want to stick any of those in that middle spot. You got to do something kind of creative, or maybe they, I don't know if you take out a linebacker position in the middle like that and do something like that to, try to get them to find a hole that maybe, somebody's trying to create up the middle there. But it's a fun problem to have. That's for damn sure. There's a lot of teams that wish they were in that position, but I really think that Ryder Anderson, we said before, I think he's gonna be the guy that you kind of stick up the defensive line at that point to try to get some pressure up the middle like that with him. But even Jordan Phillips has got some experience doing that. He had, 1 year he had 9 sacks with the Bills. He's got some pass rush ability on him as well there. Like I said, that's a good problem to have, man. Like, how do you get all these people on the field? That's a great problem to have. That most teams will wish they got to go ahead and do.
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and move.
Apologize for the emotions earlier.
No, you good, bro. You good.
You left me out here on the streets, E.
Nah. We're gonna discuss. We're gonna discuss all that backstage, bro.
While you're gone, we found out the Knicks actually gave up 7 first-round picks for him. Actually, with 7.
Oh my gosh.
So when we discussed this backstage, right? We're gonna talk about something that's going on. I don't think anybody in this room, I'm gonna just say this and I'm gonna get out the way, because this is the type of shit that I lose it. I don't think there's ever been anybody in the history of the NBA that was given 7 first-round picks up for a player of his stature in life. So this has to be explained to me. But I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna talk about it backstage. Proceed, gentlemen.
Man.
Nah, you good. We good. Fantastic show. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Make sure you download, subscribe, leave a like. Well, hit that like button, leave a comment. Shouts out to all the guests. Shouts out to all the people who joined us on the panel today. Big Pat Sports, Unpopular Opinion Sports, 2 giant goofballs. Salute to John Schmeelk, BBK, Giants.com. Came through in that first hour. Y'all make sure y'all listen back if you joined late. Listen to that interview. Check us out yesterday. We had Paul Dottino. And let Shakes take away the rest of the week for as far as guests. But this is guest week on the Shakedown Sports Podcast, man, and we appreciate it. We're going to move on to closing statements a little early because we do have guests. So we'll open the floor up with Drew. Hit us with a closing statement for the people. Then it'll be Unpopular Opinion Sports. Then we're going to shoot on the other side to Big Pat if he's back. And then we'll carry on like that. So go ahead.
Yeah, I think the big thing today was that trailer that went down for Hard Knocks there. I'm really interested in seeing how the Saquon thing goes. I think the fact that the Giants had final cut, if something comes out that's negative for Saquon, I think that tells you guys a lot about how everything went down, because the Giants don't tend to like to embarrass people on the way out, but maybe they feel a little embarrassed by what happened with Saquon at that point, with him saying point blank there was no contract offered to him or anything like that. I'm kind of curious how that's going to play out there. I want to see behind the scenes. I'm actually excited that they're on Hard Knocks for this. That's going to be fun.
Absolutely.
Okay, bro.
Appreciate you, Drew. Come through anytime, man. Thank you for your support and tuning in and joining us. And knowledge and all that, man. Come back anytime. Unpopular Opinion. On you, bro.
So Drew,
man.
Tell the people where to find you. My fault.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Tell the people where to find you. My bad.
No, you good. So so 2 giant goofballs, one of the co-hosts for that. We're available obviously on YouTube, like you guys here, but pretty much every platform known to man, including audio platforms there as well. We do at least 3 episodes a week there. Typically, we're doing Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And once the season ramps up, we've done as many 4 or 5 episodes a week there, depending on how things are going. So,
okay,
sweet.
Shout out to 2 goofballs, man.
I'm gonna go subscribe as soon as we hang up from here.
Appreciate it.
My fault, Unpopular.
Oh nah, you good, bro. Yeah, man, appreciate y'all, man. Y'all know what it is, man. We fan, bro. And look, John Schmeelk said it best, man. Just root for your team. Root for your team to win games, man. Like, that was well said at the end of that, man. You guys been grinding. Appreciate y'all, man. For doing what you do, man. And last thing I gotta say is, let's go Nets, Brooklyn. Brooklyn.
Yo, tell the people where to find you. Tell them where to find you. You heard, Knicks fan? Tell
Yeah, man. Unpopular opinion sports. I do Heart of the City. We took a little break. We're gonna fire it back up probably next week. I got my new show, basketball show, the Blacktop Podcast. That's on Friday, 7:00. And of course, Giants Conversations, man. 11:45, 12-ish, whatever time, man, on Sunday, man. But it's the pregame show, man, during the season. So,
that's what's up.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Nice.
Same here, man.
Big Pat, you back with us, bro? All right, Big Pat probably still chilling.
Whatever, man.
Yeah, go ahead, E. Surely won't let me deal cards.
We good. Thanks for coming out today, man. I hope y'all all enjoyed the show. Find us on all social media platforms. Thanks for everybody who watched on the Twitters, formerly known as Twitter X, Instagram, Facebook. You know, tell a friend, like and subscribe to the tribe. Speak to y'all when I get a chance to. Fuck is going on?
Go ahead, say it.
Yo, great show today. Shout out to Black Freezy. Shout out to J-Rock. Shout out to Black Rock Productions. Shout out to the whole Shakedown crew. Shout out to everybody out there supporting us. Shout out to everybody that came through to show us love, man. We really appreciate it. Most likely we'll be back tomorrow with a little bit more of the same but different. And the people that's here now, y'all welcome to join, you heard? Y'all have a blessed one and good night, man.
No doubt. Same difference, everybody. Shakes Montana.
I ain't got no more to say. What more can I say?
What more can I say?
Got no more to say.
I'm on my LRP, man. It's a message to the madness. That's all I gotta say.
Already.
Close curtain, man.
No doubt.
Mikal
Big Pat
Bridges.
back with it.
Yeah, Mikal Bridges.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go, Big Pat. We on closing statement, sir. Go ahead, hit us with your closing statement as we get up out of here for the evening.
Yeah, we're living in a world where Mikal Bridges is worth first-round picks. Shit falling over at my crib because of that shit.
Yo, Pat, please stick around, please. Please stick around. I got shit to say. Please stick around.
Okay. But on the real though, I can't wait to call the Giants games this year. Regardless of all the Daniel Jones crap and all that, I can't wait to see what we can do with this team. I'm excited to see what this offensive line can do, and I'm excited to see what the trio of these young guys can do at the receiver position, and Wan'Dale Robinson, Hyatt, and Neighbors. I'm still not off of Slayton. Pause. I do believe Slayton can be a productive receiver in this league, but if you have studied the game of football like most of us have on this panel, you do know there's a thing called the phase out. And what I mean by that is Jalen Hyatt has the same skill set as Slayton and can do a little bit more than Slayton if he develops. So if they start to see, hey, this kid is real, you will start to see the phase out of Darius Slayton. It's not right, but it's a business. I'm going to go with the younger guy. I'm going to go with the 22 to 23-year-old who has the higher upside than a 27-year-old where everybody thinks if you go past 24, you're old in this day and age in football. So you will start to see Darius Slayton get phased out. You'll start to see him only come in on 4 receiver sets, or somebody needs a breather, they'll bring him in. You'll start to see him look more and more defeated, and they'll probably try to find a trade partner for Darius Slayton in the middle of the season. So be on the lookout for that.
Tell the people where they can find you, brother.
Yeah, you can find me on the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. Me, NYG, Big Blue Lou, Joe. You can catch us on a Big Blue Crew Sports Network. Big Pass Sports Talk. You know, I'm bringing you New York Giants full access. I'm going to start bringing it back every day now because getting started. The wheels are starting to turn for the NFL season. So be on the lookout for videos, lives. You know how we do over here with the Big Blue Crew.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. Appreciate you, bro. Shakes Montana, back to you.
Yeah, man. J-Rock, man. Where you at, bro? You fell asleep? J-Rock fell asleep?
Get back there, super producer.
No doubt, man. I just want to thank everybody that.
Nah, bro. Taking care of business.
You standing on business?
Respect.
Standing on business.
This shit ain't never been about business. It's been about extortion.
No, I want to thank all the guests that came and stopped through pause all week long, and we had some great guests, and even today, not just John Schmeelk, we have Big Pat, we got Drew, we got NYG22, man. So this was a eventful show, and I appreciate all the guests that stopped by. And yeah, we about to go on our break, but we're gonna give y'all one more. We got Patty Shakes coming through as well this week, so y'all look out for that, man. Patty Trainer. And yeah, man, we out here, man. That's what we do, man. We'll be back at the end of July, right before camp, July 22nd. But make sure y'all all get into the fantasy football leagues, and y'all go ahead and join that membership so y'all get the exclusive content that we will be dropping this summer while we on our break. But shout outs to season 9 of the Shakedown crew. Welcome to season 10. I'm pretty sure it's gonna get crazy and more crazier. So looking forward to it. And you know I start that bullshit anyway, so usually it's me. Usually it's me and my craziness. But like we always say around this time, we don't expect y'all agree with us, but we damn sure expect y'all understand. Understand? Don't get shook up, because we keep shit live. It's the Shakedown repping New York Giants on that drive for 5. And we out of here. Take us away, J-Rock. Standing on business.
Yo, y'all just been shook by the Shakedown. We out.
7 months.